The following program has been generously funded by the Patterson Foundation.
Hi everyone, welcome to This Book is Cool. My name is Beth Duda and I'm the director of the Suncoast Campaign for grade level reading. And we are delighted that you're joining us today to learn about a very cool book. Fish is Fish. We have a guest who's going to share with us all of the reasons why he thinks this book is cool. Today we have with us Ben Tollefson. We're delighted to have you and very excited to talk about the book Fish is Fish.
Oh, great. I love that book.
I do too. So can you share with me one of the things that you really enjoy about the book?
Well, first off, the thing that I really loved was just, it's so cool to see the life cycle of a frog, like seeing the tadpole transform into a frog. And it's just part of the story. I just think that was just so cool to me. It's just an integral part of the story, but it was just such a beautiful, beautiful way to sort of how show people grow. And I thought that was really wonderful.
I like that too. And I remember when I was a child actually being able to see a tadpole grow legs and lose its tail and transform into a frog, and it seemed magical.
Yeah, it is pretty magical, I think. This is really, really neat that tiny little tadpole becomes a frog. It's just really cool.
Now, you mentioned that, in the very beginning, the fish and the tadpole were very similar, and then they grow. So how did that affect you as you were reading the story?
Well, I thought it was really cool about how they both, live in water. Like at first they almost seemed the same, like the tadpole and the fish, you could hardly tell the difference. And then as they kept growing, the fish would get a little larger, but the tadpole was growing legs and then arms. And it was just neat to see that how they just, as they grew, so did their differences. But, the frogs can then breathe out of the water, but the fish is meanwhile still, it's a fish.
That's right. Fish is fish.
Yeah, fish is fish.
So as they grew, their differences grew also.
But they were able to stay friends, which was something that was so special about this, is like, as we grow and our experiences change, like our friends are still, our friends. And that's, I think, is such a special, special thing.
And that friendship is something that we really get a chance to experience in the book. Because as the frog leaves the pond and experiences the world, the fish stays in one place. But then the frog comes back and is able to tell the fish about some of the experiences he's had out in the world. But that part of the book is kind of funny.
I love that part. It's so fun. I think it's so fun to see how a fish's imagination works, or this is the way that this author thinks about how the fish's imagination works, that everything outside of the pond still looks just like a fish. Everyone looks just like a fish, and even the birds with the wings illustrations. It's just so beautiful. It's really just it's so funny to think about. That's how a fish's mind works. They just never see anything else. So that's all they can imagine,
That's right. So the frog has gone out in the world and seen all of these different things, cows and other animals. I'm going to see if I can find the illustration that really gives that. Here it is. So the frog is explaining to the fish about a cow. And
I love that.
As the fish is imagining what a cow must look like, it's still, in the fish's imagination, looks like a cow.
Yeah,
Sorry, like a fish. It still looks like a fish. A fish cow.
Yes.
That is very funny. So the book also at the very end is kind of touching. It gave me a kind of a warm feeling. Can you describe why that might be?
Yeah, I think for me, I got a warm feeling as well. But I think it was because friendship really saves the day. It was like the fish's old friend frog comes back and helps save him out of the pond. And that's just one of those things that made me think of my friends and how we help each other out, and how everybody that's one of the beautiful things about friendship is that we're there for each other a long time, and then sometimes we're not there for a while, and then you're back when we need each other. And I just think that's a really special thing about friendship, that it can kind of ebb and flow like little tides of a pond.
I think that's a really good point, and I'm hoping that us kind of talking about how the frog saves the day, but not really explaining exactly what happens, I'm hoping that will make people want to read this book, because I think it's worth the time to
Absolutely, yes.
sit down and share the story, and maybe even to be able to share the story with a friend, because it really shows the importance of friendship.
And that's a beautiful thing. And I think there's something I really love about this, is that it also, the fish learns to, as the frog goes away, he learns to appreciate the beauty of his own underwater home. I think there's a little element of that too, that keeps their friendship, even though the fish at first wants to be something else or be somewhere else, then he realizes this is his home, and his home is beautiful. And it's really, I love the description of what it feels like when he gets back with the water in his gills, and that part is just really, it was like, that's what it feels like to be a fish. I thought that was really
Well, I think the book's author, Leo Leone, did a great job of imagining what it must be like to be a fish, and able to put that into a book that makes me want to read this story, but it also makes me want to read other stories that show us how other characters might be feeling. So I think Fish is definitely a cool book.
Yeah, it's such a cool book. I love that book. And I think your suggestion of trying to read it with a friend, I think that's just a really fun way to talk about it. And, you could even take turns reading each different parts or something like that, or doing it over Zoom or one of the, FaceTime kind of things. And that there's a chance to still be able to read with your friends, even though, we may not be in the same room right now. So that's one of those really special things we have right now in the modern world.
I'm so grateful that you came to share your ideas with us today over Zoom. So thank you so much. Thanks for sharing Fish is Fish with us.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. And everybody out there, have a lot of fun reading. There's so many great books out there, and this is a great time to find them. So I'm hope this one turns you on to other books that are going to be just as much fun, and seeing all the imaginations of these amazing writers and illustrators, and maybe you'll write your own book or all kinds of things like that. So, good luck.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ben.
Bye-bye.
It was so much fun to talk to Ben about the book Fish is Fish. I love how enthusiastic he is about reading, and I loved his ideas about sharing this book with a friend over Zoom, or one friend reading one part of the book and another friend reading another part of the book. And did you hear us suggest that we might even write a book of our own? Wouldn't that be fun? Fish is Fish also has some terrific words for us to add to our word bank. One of the words that we can add to our word bank is the word inseparable. That's a long word. Inseparable. Inseparable means that you're always together, that you can't stand to be apart or separate. Another word from the book Fish is Fish for our word bank is the word triumphantly. That's a really fun word, triumphantly. Triumphantly means doing something in a proud or celebratory way. So triumphantly coming back into the town, or triumphantly announcing that you've won a prize. The word extraordinary is a great word for our word bank. Extraordinary means going beyond what is usual, to exceed a goal, to be extraordinary. Extraordinary. Another word for our word bank from Fish is Fish is the word mysteriously. Mysteriously means unknown or a hard to understand manner. Mysteriously. Impatiently is a word for our word bank. Impatiently means not willing to wait. If you're impatient, it means you want it right now. So impatiently means not willing to wait. And the final word from Fish is Fish for our word bank is the word feebly. Feebly means lacking strength or being weak. So if you feebly talk, you're talking with no energy, just kind of feebly. We have a great suggestion for an activity from the book Fish is Fish. We think it would be great for you to imagine how the fish imagines different animals. We have an example here. This is a picture of a fish that kind of has a cow body and bird legs and horns. You could create your own kind of fish. You might give it the body of a bird, or you might add hooves, or you might add fur. Whatever you think would be fun to create a fish that was a whole bunch of different animal parts. We hope you'll create one of these and send it to us. We'd love to see a picture that you've created. You can send it to us by emailing it to connect@grade-level-reading-suncoast.net. We'd also love for you to come up with your own episode of This Book is Cool. You can share your ideas with us about a book that you love. Give us 3 or 4 reasons why you think that book is cool. Share some words that we could put in our word bank. And maybe you could even think of an activity that we could do that goes with the book. You could even interview your mom or dad or brother or sister or one of your friends to be your special guest on your very own episode of This Book is Cool. You can email us your episode of This Book is Cool by sending it to connect@grade-level-reading-suncoast.net. I'm so grateful that Ben spent some time with us today sharing why he thinks Fish is Fish is such a cool book. And I can't wait for you to read it so that you too can think this book is cool. Remember, reading is the key to succeeding. I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks. Bye.